Slayer, he's gone by many names over the years and has had many incarnations. But he has been the one constant in the Doom series, even as it has changed and changed back throughout its history. The face of the series, ironically enough, given that we don't really see his face all that much, from the silent and unmovable Doom guy in the classic Doom games to the not-so-faceless Doom Marine of Doom 3. Much like it did with a lot else of the series universe, Doom 2016 lent a great deal of lore and backstory to the Doom Slayer, and with Doom Eternal right around the corner, this is the perfect time to look back at his complete story. Before we get into that though, how exactly does Doom 2016's account of the Doom Slayer connect with that of the other Doom games? Well, there's various possible answers for that. The first one is that it doesn't, that the 2016 game is a straight reboot, and the newest Doom Slayer has nothing to do with the previous games. Several Doom fans, though, insist that this is the same Doom Slayer we've always played as throughout the series, that Doom 64 leads into the events of Doom 2016, and sure enough, Codex entries throughout the newest game do seem to support that theory. In fact, even Quake Champion suggests that the Slayer is a single warrior who's been fighting against the armies of hell through space and time. But here's what we're going to do. Just for the purposes of this feature, we're going to drop the baggage of all the previous Doom titles, avoid trying to sort out all the conflicting theories and pieces of evidence, and focus only on what Doom 2016 tells us. So what does it tell us? Well, even Doom 2016 makes it pretty clear that the Doom Slayer has been fighting against the forces of hell for a long, long time. He was most likely the leader of the Night Sentinels, an ancient group of elite soldiers and the fiercest warriors in the realm of Argent D'Nur. We've covered them and their story extensively in a separate feature already, but the long and short of it is that a fateful conflict against the forces of hell saw the Night Sentinels being slaughtered and Argent D'Nur being completely destroyed and absorbed by hell. The only remaining warrior who stood against the demon hordes of hell was the Doom Slayer. And rather than being crushed by the defeat of Argent D'Nur and the destruction of the Night Sentinels, he became even more dogged in his pursuit to fight back against the forces of hell. In his quest for retribution, the Doom Slayer wreaked devastating havoc upon his enemies. And the more destruction he wrought upon the forces of hell, the more power he would draw from his fallen enemies, growing stronger and stronger and stronger still. The forces of hell feared the destructive powers of the Doom Slayer, who was almost a one-man army who could single-handedly thwart most of their machinations. What made him even more fearsome for the demons was the fact that he had help. A lot of help. That help came in the form of what's described in the game as terrible power and speed, and was given to him by the Seraphim. Another unlikely source of aid for the Doom Slayer came from hell itself. Referred only to as the Wretch, who was a traitor to hell's cause, he either created the Doom Slayer's legendary Praetor suit or helped enhance it, and was very likely the one who was responsible for the suit's ability to harness and use hell's energy. As the threat of the Doom Slayer grew and the Lords of Hell realized that nothing they could throw at him could keep him down, they decided to take some extreme measures. They created a warrior known as the Titan, who, true to its name, was a colossal hellish beast with fierce and terrifying powers. Perhaps the only demon in existence with a physical form larger than the Titan is the Icon of Sin, who we briefly saw in Doom 2016 and will be seeing more of in Eternal. In an ensuing battle, the Doom Slayer and the Titan went up against each other, but the Slayer emerged victorious here too, killing the Titan. With even the Titan having been unable to do anything to the Doom Slayer, the forces of hell rolled the dice one last time on a final plan. They turned to the demon priests of the Blood Temples, who lay down a trap in the Blood Keep. Knowing that the Doom Slayer would enter the temple and look to destroy the demons inside, the priests waited there. The Slayer, to no one's surprise, did as they expected, and while he was caught up in the ripping and shredding of demons, the priests sprung the trap. They brought down the temple on him and then proceeded to seal him in a sarcophagus, and that is where he remained for a long, long time. We now jump straight ahead to the events of Doom 2016. Before the Slayer awoke again and resumed his fight against Hell, fateful events had started taking place at the UAC base on Mars. Olivia Pierce had been corrupted by the influence of Hell and had been tasked with ensuring that the UAC, who had been leading manned incursions into Hell, wouldn't find and retrieve the Doom Slayer sarcophagus. Led by Samuel Hayden, though, who knew that the Slayer might end up being vital should the forces of Hell attack, especially in light of Olivia's increasingly erratic behavior, successfully retrieved his tomb and brought it to Mars. Not long afterward, Olivia opened a portal from Hell on Mars, triggering their invasion of the UAC base, and this, in turn, prompted Hayden to awaken the Doomslayer once again. Over the past few weeks, we've covered much of the events that